next question is, how can women create financial habits whereby they don't feel boxed in?
Thank you for that. In terms of financial habits, there are various ways that we can do that. And I want to talk about the area number one of the importance of creating financial habits. Any habit in general, creating any habit in general can be a task. And it's because creating habits can be tasking, a lot of us don't really um, focus on what we want to do in terms of the habits. But of course, creating financial habits is something that we must pay attention, and I mean very, very close attention to. In terms of the financial habits, number one will be to set up a budget. I know that budget is very, what's the word? Budget can feel restrictive when it comes to our spending. And if you're someone who has never done so before, but budget is your guiding line that will help you, guiding light, I mean, that will help you in navigating your financial management well. The other thing is for you to concentrate on the principle of savings. Now, in terms of that, I didn't always know these things. I had to learn them. But I feel that in terms of savings, when they say save 10% of your income, if you want to actually have your own freedom in this world, that is a principle not to be ignored. So ensuring that you are putting some of the money that you earn away is a great way or habit to keep. And what I always say is that if you think that when all the money goes into your current account, you would spend it with like most of us do, you can set a standing order, and then so that as soon as the money hits your account, then it's going out into part of it is going out into the savings pot. Then also they need to learn about increasing in terms of your earnings, because sometimes, I mean, this is a lady that I listen to a lot. She's also a podcaster, Patrice Washington, on redefining wealth for yourself. And she often says that when she used to do financial education, one of the things that she quickly realized was the fact that um, people could just increase how they earn, how much they earn. And so, in terms of cutting coupons and doing all the things that restricts us so much, if you learn how to earn a bit of income more than you earn now, perhaps that could go into the savings, and then what you earn now on your regular job could be for you. And then also to learn how to be able to protect and grow the money. A lot of us don't know how to do that. So you have a family and you don't have insurance, for example, it is a very dangerous way to live. So having that as a buffer, it's not that you are going to put that, your savings is not your insurance. Your insurance is the one that will protect you in case anything happens to you, at least your children and your family can survive. What are the benefits of all these, you may ask, especially as a woman? If you don't have a financial leeway, what happens is that you are not able to stay in your power. And we know that, especially for those of us from Africa, we know that when we're growing up, it's often assumed that, the man has the power to look after women and all that. You have your own money. Not that you won't be submissive to your husband, but at least you would have a say in what is going on in your relationship and in your marriage. You can also commit to your values. I know, for example, most people would compromise their values because when it comes to making decisions about, your financial decisions, because if you don't have money and somebody has it and ask you to do things that you under normal circumstances wouldn't have done, chances are people will do. And so it is important as a woman that when you have your own money and when you cultivate money habits, it helps you in that sense. And you also want to ensure that your children are learning from you as well, because when your children see that you are financially savvy, guess what? They respect you a lot because they know that, even if they ask for something, you are not going to be shouting at them because you don't have the money. You're already stressed and they're coming to you asking for money. That is an empowering situation for us as well. So that would be my long, shall I say, or short answer to how women.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So what this actually mean is women should have their own small pot of gold in case of eventuality.
100%, 100%. Even if you're married to a billionaire, we recently had a billionaire's wife divorced, and what's the other one? The other one, sorry, Jeff Bezos. He and his wife divorced. You can be married to the billionaire, but if you don't have your own money, guess what? You don't want to be dragging people to court just to share their money. So yeah, it's important that we learn about financial habits because that will help us.
Thank you so much for that brilliant answer. That leads me to another question. Should lone parents restrain themselves when it comes to money matters?
With regards to lone parents, it is difficult being a lone parent. And if you're a lone parent out there, my heart goes out to you because for most people, that's not their story. But also for some people, due to one reason or the other, you find yourself being a lone parent. The challenges of being a lone parent is that you now have one source of income. Can you imagine in this, especially in the UK, where money comes in and flies out, like they say, like the wind. And then, so if you have two streams of income, even if you are a low income earner, two is always better than one, as the saying goes. But then the thing is, when you then become a single income, it can be very, very challenging. But as a lone parent, you don't have to give, or you don't have to throw your hands in the air because of that. And I also know, to my earlier point, people will stay in circumstances because of the fact that they don't have money. But here is what you can do if you are a lone parent and then finally, or you were married and finally find yourself a single parent, or even if you have never married. The other issue, I'll come to the solution in a bit, but the other issue is that if you are a lone parent, you are not able to actually kind of generate income. So, for example, I was reading a statistic that says when you have children, by the time the child gets to 18, it would have cost you $250,000 to look after the child. So imagine, wow. Yeah, and they are not saying you're spending that on the child, but we know that feeding a child is not easy, clothing the child is not easy. You have to have a suitable accommodation for the child as well. It's not easy. And when they go to school in the UK, thankfully, it's free education until they're 18 or so. But the other thing is that when they are going to school, they still have to eat lunch, and you have to, because they are not at home, the food is not coming from the pot that you are cooking. So it's all expenses, plus their uniforms, everything. You, the lone parent, would have to bear all those things. Not only are you not making enough money, and about the fact that it's a single income, but also the expenses now is more or less double for you. And the third thing is also that you are not able to go out there and work because you then have to look after these children, because what would you do? You can't leave them. You don't have anyone else to look after them. If it's in Africa, yes, we have extended, but I understand that's also becoming a thing of the past. So those are the challenges. But the solution is that you have to then utilize the help that's out there. I think the main thing that most of us have, or the challenge, is that especially for somebody who has suddenly become divorced, perhaps you don't even want people to know, and then you feel ashamed, and you can blame yourself for what could I have done, and was it my fault, and all sort of things. Regardless of whether it was your fault or it was your spouse's fault, this is it for you. This is a life that you have to live. Go out there, and
that's their reality.
Exactly. So you need to go out there and then find the help. We have, for example, I saw in the library that they've actually written it on a big board like that. Millions of pounds go in the UK unclaimed. So like many funds that can support people kind of go away or go unclaimed. And if it's not claimed, guess what? The government is going to misuse it anyway. So why don't you find out what your due is and then go out there and claim it? So claim the benefit, claim the whatever it is. go and find help from the non-governmental organizations. They are also some of them are very helpful in terms of supporting you as a single parent. And I would say that involve your children as well in terms of managing your money, because when you do that, the children understand you, like there's transparency. And who knows, sometimes divorce can even be a good thing for mother and children to actually bond better than if you have an abusive partner who wouldn't let you be. So that would be my answer to, for lone parents to be really become savvy regarding money management.
The email address, risingaboveshadows of abuse @gmail.com. Thank you.